Hello, and welcome to Simplified, a quick centre in 3 quick steps. The 3 quick steps are having a look at my grades. This is what students can see. Secondly, we'll have a look at what you can do in the Grade Centre to fix what students see. And thirdly, we'll also have a look at column organisation and row organisation to make it easier for you to navigate around the Grade Centre. So first of all, on the screen that we've got in front of us is just a sample course. I'm going to go down to My Grades, so this is student view, and I'm going to look at My Grades, and you will notice that there's a whole bunch of columns or rows in this case in there, weighted total, total course blog, all sorts of things, progress reports, some marked items, some other items. If you do not do anything to change anything in the Grade Centre, all these items will be viewable. So what we'll do next is actually go into the Grade Centre and turn some of these items off, not completely off, they'll still be there, but they actually will be hidden from the student view. So I'm going to go to the Grade Centre for this particular demonstration course now. I've got another browser open to do that. So here I am in the full Grade Centre, and of course I'm in instructor view. So the first thing that you'll notice is that essentially we've got all these columns in here with all the items that are accessible, and the columns actually go a little bit further as well. So to actually hide columns from students' view, what we need to do is click on the little chevrons that we can see just next to these items here. So if you're marking the course blog, you can click on the little chevron and then you can choose Show Hide to Users. Now Show Hide to Users, it's very important that you use this one and not this bottom one here that says Hide Column. Hide Column will hide it from your view, but it will not hide it from the student's view. So this is really, really crucial for you to understand that this is the Show Hide to Users. So if I show Hide to User this course blog, I'll just click it, you can see we get a lovely little icon with a red cross through it. So if I now return to the My Grades for the students, I'm just going to show you what this has done for the students. So I'm going to click back, and this is the student view, and of course we can still see it because I haven't done anything. I'm just going to click on My Grades again just to refresh the screen. And as you can see, that course blog is now gone. Okay, we need to do this to all these columns if we want them to disappear. This is also useful if you want the students not to see when you're marking. So you want to have a particular time period when it ends, and then you can say, "This, I'm going to expose the grades to the students all in one go." So that would be exactly the same spot. So I'm going to go back to the Grade Centre, and of course I have to go through and do all of these like this. Now the other 2 columns that you can see here, weighted total and total, I'm going to talk about them as well because they are actually 2 columns that are there by default. But the other thing about your Grade Centre is that you may have some redundant items in here. So this may have happened because your course rolled over from the previous year. You may have a different assignment now, or it's the same assignment but you really want to put it in new, you want to put it in fresh. So for example, if I have a column like this, and let's see wherever I can find it, there it is, assignment 1. This is no longer used. I'm not going to use assignment 1 anymore. So if I click on the little chevron here, I can certainly hide it from the users, but in actual fact I want to get rid of that column. Now one of the things you'll notice here is that there is no way for me to delete this column. It has not got an option to delete this column. And the reason for that is that we deployed this assignment in a particular content area. So the content area is down here on the left hand side. So because we deployed it in a content area, we need to get rid of it from that content area. So I'm going to do that right now with this one called assignment 1. It's actually sitting here under assessment. And there it is, assignment 1. I'm now going to click on the chevron here, and I'm going to choose delete, and it asks me if I'm sure. I'm going to click OK. Now if there was any grades or anything associated with that, it would actually have asked me and said, do you want me to delete the grades and all the associations with it. It would have tried to confirm that. Because there was no assignment uploads or anything, and especially things that have rolled over from previous times, you can certainly do that quite easily without being worried. So let's go back to the full grade center to have a look and see if it's gone. And indeed, I cannot see it here anymore. I can't see assignment 1 in this top thing anymore. Okay? So also, of course, if I just go back to the student view, I can still see assignment 1 just here. If I just refresh that page, you'll see now assignment 1's gone. So that's how to get rid of a column, a grade center column, permanently. Just going to go back to the instructor view again, and of course you would go through and hide the things that you don't want students to see, or the marks that you don't want them to see, as follows, like I showed you in the beginning. Now these two columns here, the weighted total and the total, are a bit special, in that the weighted total is really how it's going to add up your grades. So some things might be, your assignments might be worth 40%, your maybe participation's worth 10%. Now that's what the weighted column means. So in the weighted column, I'm just going to show you, this one's already been set up. If I click on the little chevron down there, and I'll choose Edit Column Information, and I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom so you can see what I'm talking about. So if we have a look over on the right hand side, and you can certainly set this up yourself, this is not the session that I'm going to do this in, but basically over here you can see I've actually weighted everything correctly, and that's what I want it to be. So really that is what the student's final grade will be, based on these items. And down the bottom here, I've got the normal options here. It says show this column to students, yes, no. If I chose no here, it's going to actually give me a little, and I'll just do that just to show you, submit. It's going to give that little cross that I was talking about before, that little red thing. That means it's hidden from the users. So if I click on the chevron again and I want to show users, I go to show hide to users, and it will appear again. Now, the total column, unless you're weighting everything exactly evenly, for example, if you have 4 items and they're all weighted at 25%, then really the total column is quite useless, because really it's just going to add up any scores, and it actually doesn't have the genuine scoring that occurs. So in actual fact, we can get rid of, or at least hide the total from the student as well, because if you score something like this one scored at 2 here, then if you haven't hidden the totals column, the student, I'm just going to go back to the student, is going to see the result here in the total column. It's not very clear indication for them what that means though. So essentially, back in the instructor view, I'm going to hide a total column. Now you'd think that it would be so easy by clicking on this little chevron here and saying show hide. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you this option here, so we actually have to go to Edit Column Information to do that. Whatever you do, do not choose Hide Column. Hide Column just simply hides it from your view. It does not hide it from the student's view. So I'm going to go in and choose Edit Column Information for the total column, and I'm going to scroll on down. And essentially, I've got the lovely option here that says show this column to students, and I'm going to say no. And you know what? I don't even want it included in the grade center calculations. I don't really care about it at all. It's a useless column for me. So I'm going to say no to all of those. I'm going to submit. And now that I've hidden it, and I'll just make sure that I've hidden it for the students as well. I'll just go back to the student view and go to my grades. And as you can see, the total has just gone from there. So I'll go back to the grade center. And now, in actual fact, now that I've hidden it, I can actually hide it for good, right? I can get rid of it forevermore, because it's just annoying, it's just there, it's taking up space that I don't want. So now that I know that I've hidden it from students, I'm going to click on that little chevron, and I'm going to choose Hide Column. In actual fact, the Grade Center is just like an Excel spreadsheet, except that when you hide a column, you can't tell that it's hidden. So the last little thing that I'm going to show you is how to organize your columns. So this is just for ease of use. So I've shown you what the students see and how you can hide what they can't see. Now you might also want to hide certain things from your own view here, and also just to, when you're marking, it might be easier to actually sort this out. So say for example I wanted to get that total column back, or say for example I had accidentally, and I'll just do that, hidden this column, reflective journal, and it means that the students can still see that column because I didn't hide it from the students. How do I get it back? Well, you can actually do that through this Manage button. See this Manage button up here, and I'll just go to the option what's that, the 6th, 7th option down, called column organization. And this is where you can actually get things back. So if you have a look here, there's a nice little feature here where you can freeze things. That means that if you've got lots of columns, they'll go behind it, just like in an Excel spreadsheet. So to get a column back, you can just scroll down the bottom. These will always be viewable, all these columns up the top here. These are the ones that are what's called in the marking period. Now what that basically means, see on the left hand side, I've got some filters here. These are just filters to view different views of the Grade Centre. So there's a filter for assignments, available students, surveys and tests, whatever it is. So that's basically, that just means these columns up here are always going to be seen. These may or may not be seen depending on which filter you use, but I always use the full Grade Centre because I like to see everything. Okay, so as you can see here, things are hidden. Here's the reflective journal that we hid before. I'm going to tick it. I'm going to go down below here and I'm going to say show column. So now I've actually made that column visible again. So if I click submit, I can also move things up and down if I wanted to order things in a different way. I'm going to click submit, and you will see that the reflective journal has returned and is back in my Grade Centre. The other thing here, and it's the last thing I'll tell you about, is sometimes if you've got a lot of columns, you can see that you've got this scroll bar down the bottom here, the vertical one. Very annoying. So you might want to do two things. One, you can see here how I can see the menu now. When I'm looking at the Grade Centre, it's quite irrelevant, so I can hide the course menu. So I just hover my mouse near there and I can just click that and it just hides it, which makes it nice. Now I don't have that annoying vertical scroll bar. And the other option here is to go down here where it says edit rows displayed. So currently I can only see about 10 rows. If I click edit rows displayed, and now I actually like to go to the max, because who really, who wouldn't want to see the maximum on one page? Then go, okay, go. And now I've got a nice big spreadsheet with all my students on there. If you've got more than 50 students, this is not going to work, of course. But basically, I can do little things here. So that was the final thing that I wanted to show you.